Welcome to Safe and Sound, sponsored by White Mountain Fire and Life Safety. I am your host, Kirk Webb, and today on the show we have Catrina Jenkins and Kim O'Farrell, both from Navajo County Emergency Management and
Public Health Emergency Preparedness.
Yeah, because that's a mouthful.
It is.
So we're going to actually be talking about some very important winter safety
Preparedness,
tips,
safety, all around.
all that good stuff. All right.
So,
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
Always a good time to be with you.
So our first segment, we want to talk about, overall general preparedness. And that's kind of your...
That is my bread and butter.
Because you are emergency management.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and our main goal in emergency management is to make sure we have a resilient community and that everybody is prepared for any disaster. Coming up on winter is no different. It may be a mild winter, but we're still going to see some storms. And so we want folks to make sure that their home is prepared for winter as much as it is for fire season up here.
And not only that, but like you say, those storms. Sometimes we may actually have some storms that lock people in.
Yes.
And they're not able to get out of their homes.
Yeah. So,
in fact, some years we've
sure.
actually had to fly in supplies and things.
2010, we had a major winter storm across the whole northern half of the state. And you're absolutely right. There were helicopters dropping MREs around the state. So yeah, we definitely want to make sure families have updated that preparedness kit for their home. Make sure that all of their supplies are not expired or that they've got fresh water and enough for everybody in the house. Things like that. Those simple things that we've talked about many times.
And a lot of that stuff I think people take for granted.
They do.
Whether they assume that, hey, we're always going to be able to get to the store, our wonderful local malls.
The Safeway's just down the street or Walmart's just around the corner. I can get there. And they may not be able to because, it takes time to get our plows out and about. And as much as our hardworking men and women, Public Works and ADOT do their very best to get those roads plowed in a timely manner, it does take time. We have I think it's over 500 miles of road in just the Shola Pine Top Lakeside area. And I could be wrong on that number, but it's a lot of road out there.
And the county's not responsible for all of that road plowing. You got the cities that take care of their own, the towns that take care of their own. In fact,
and everybody helps each other out because we have cities, towns, county, and state that are all plowing and helping each other out. And we try to make sure that the roads are safe for our citizens first and foremost.
Well, and looking back years ago, I used to do snow plowing, our family business for the town of Pine Top Lakeside, and we had some significant storms that, oh my gosh, the drifts that the winds would make, because the wind never blows here in Lakeside and Pine Top and Sholo, and but yeah, it's crazy trying to keep that open. In fact, when you were talking about kind of on the health and wellness side, medications.
Yeah.
Sometimes that can be a very difficult thing because you can't get some of your stuff unless it's time to, insurance won't cover it. You can't get, so those things play into making sure to kind of plan ahead.
Plan ahead. We try to publish anything that we're seeing coming. We make sure to go on our social media and our Facebook page, 311info.net are good resources for any upcoming storms that we have been told from our partners from the National Weather Service. And that's a good time to make sure your kit's ready, that you've checked your fuel source if you have heating, whether it's propane or firewood, and make sure you're plenty stocked on that. That you've gone over your family communication plan.
Right.
You know what's going to happen there. Some other, make sure that all your resources are ready to go.
In fact, I understand you have like a booklet that helps you do that planning.
We do have a booklet for planning that helps for any emergency, and it's called a Family Financial First Aid Kit. So this helps anybody that's been in a disaster recover faster. There's a lot of tips and hints to help you along the way. Gather documents and those important pieces of information that you will need should the worst day happen. Hopefully it doesn't, but this will help you recover that much faster.
And Kat, you have some good resources on the website as well.
Thank you for that. We do navajocountyaz.gov/ready. And that goes right to the emergency management website page. Thank you. and have lots more planning guides and tips and information for our citizens to follow.
So they can access every bit of this.
This is actually
booklet,
both
even other
digital,
stuff.
or I can mail it. You can reach out to me. Our information is on our website on how to contact us. We have one of those fillable forms. You can reach out to us. We will either mail this to you, or we do have the digital form that you can go in and download for yourself.
And those folks that do not have access to the internet, give you a call.
Just give us
at
a
your,
call.
main number.
Yep, 928-524-4163. Leave me a voicemail, because if I don't get a voicemail, I won't know that you called, and we'll get that mailed out.
So, well, I appreciate all that great information on kind of covering general overall everything going on with winter safety.
Yes.
So thank you for that great information, Catrina Jenkins and Kim O'Farrell. Thank you for joining us on Safe and Sound, and stay tuned for the next segment of Winter Safety. Welcome back to our Winter Safety edition of Safe and Sound, and we're still here with Catrina Jenkins and Kim O'Farrell, which, you know, we've talked a little bit about overall general winter safety tips. Yep. But with this segment, we want to be specifically talking about health and wellness, you know, for the winter.
Yes.
So what are some of the biggest items that we need to inform and talk to the people about?
So one thing I like to cover is for those especially who may be taking medications that need to be refrigerated, or they have some kind of medical device that may require power to run, having that generator on site in the event of a power outage so that you can keep those medications refrigerated or that medical device operating.
So a medical device like a CPAP machine, oxygen concentrator.
Right.
Those types of devices.
Yes, but there are some health things to consider when running a generator. Obviously, we don't want to bring that generator inside the home. We want to make sure that it's operational outside.
So a good recommendation with that generator, because like you said, you don't want that, even bringing it into the garage and running it there can cause carbon monoxide to get into the rest of the home. Carbon monoxide is that colorless, odorless gas that can definitely kill people.
Sure.
So, I mean, we've even had situations where they've put in heating devices, propane powered, you know, those, they look like a palm tree.
Right, yeah.
Brought inside and using that for heat. And I understand that may be their only source of heat, but that's not the proper way to. So we want to look at those kind of devices. They're installed outside. In fact, probably use a licensed electrician to hook up your generator. So maybe even if you can afford it to kick on as soon as power goes out, then it's kind of a non-issue at that point. It automatically does it for you, and you don't lose power to those important devices.
Yes. So with a generator, we do want to make sure that when it is outside, that it is clear of any debris, that it has its own field, if you will, that is free of debris and.
Right, exactly. In fact, I'm glad you mentioned that, because from a fire standpoint, absolutely, we don't want to, you know, I can remember having a fire that they rigged up an old air compressor, but took the air compressor portion off, put on an alternator, and they were running the alternator with this, you know, converted air compressor, running electricity inside to a battery, and then going from there to one of those inverters to watch TV and everything else, and that caught on fire.
Yes. So yeah, we need to be really careful about what we bring into our home, and it's always a good thing. We don't change to daylight savings or from daylight savings time. But it's always a good idea to check your fire alarms and your carbon monoxide detector right around the date that the rest of the country is changing time.
Right.
Because those are going to offer the greatest protection.
Right. The other big thing is that we see fires starting from that can cause health issues is ashes. Some people don't know how to,
Yes. Properly dispose of them.
Exactly. And they're trying to do the right thing, but then they, like, seen where a paper sack, they put all the ashes in the paper sack because it was the day after they had their fire, put it on and stack it on the wood pile in the garage.
Some of those embers might still be hot inside the interior of those ashes, so you never want to put those. You definitely want to make sure that they are 100% cold, stored in a metal container, not in your plastic garbage tote.
Right, we've seen them going to the garbage can, the plastic, and
Yes, we don't even want to necessarily put that hot or that metal container outside on our wooden porch, because we don't know if those ashes are still warm.
It needs to be on the ground, or and here again, keep that 3-foot clearance from all combustibles, including going down. So so I'm grateful for the opportunity I had to come and discuss those specific things with you guys. Again, Catrina Jenkins and Kim O'Farrell from Navajo County.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kirk.
Thank you for joining us on this segment of Safe and Sound. Welcome back to this edition of Safe and Sound, sponsored by White Mountain Fire and Life Safety, where we're discussing winter safety tips. So today, Catrina Jenkins, Kim O'Farrell, and of course you're both with Navajo County, and we're going to discuss specifically, winter driving. Because unfortunately, we actually get snow up here. Well, I guess that should be unfortunately because
fortunately we do.
Yes.
and it's important to get that snow to not only lessen our fire danger in the summertime, but it also we are a tourist town.
We are.
And so we kind of need that to bring people up that want to go skiing and enjoy winter stuff. But along with that, because people drive to get to the ski area, or even out in the forest to
or just going to the grocery store.
Okay, yeah. One of the biggest things we have is slips, trips, and falls in the winter time, right?
Very true.
Exactly.
Very true.
So what are some of the things that we really need to watch out for for driving tips?
One of the best tips is make sure your car is as prepared as your house. By that I mean a kit, just like this one, that slides under your seat and stores away for just in case you need it. It's got flares, it's got a blanket. I've added some high protein snacks in here just in case I am stranded for some reason. It's got jumper cables. I like
this one.
You like that one? It's got a flashlight and gloves even. It's got everything I would need in case of a short-term emergency.
And this is so important because I've growing up here, been through a lot of winter storms, actually used to plow snow. In fact, one of the things, as far as having the kit, could be a lifesaver because you could break down middle of the night and you may be stuck there for hours before somebody else drives by because law enforcement is busy doing things. Snow plows are busy doing things.
Yeah, so we want to make sure there's water, like I said, snacks, extra blankets. Socks are a great thing because you can put socks both over your feet or your hands. You definitely want to just keep those extremities warm. What else?
Well, we lose a lot of heat through our head I don't know if you're out in the woods and you're camping and it's cold, if you've noticed that if you put a stocking cap or something on over your head, you do stay warmer.
I know,
So a
especially
stocking cap would be
because
a
I'm
good idea.
starting to lose a little bit of the insulator on top here, you know, and
Yeah.
so absolutely, when I'm out there, definitely having that cap on there makes
Yeah.
a huge difference.
Definitely.
I always recommend to never let your car go below half a tank of gas in the wintertime. You know, try to do your best to keep it, try to keep it full if you can.
Yeah,
I know
for sure.
it can be a lot of trips to the gas
Especially
station.
this time of year, and our gas prices seem to be not going down, which is tough.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, when we're talking about snowplows, from my experiences driving a snowplow, in fact, the first year we did it for the town of Pine Top Lakeside, my snowplow was a pickup, and I was also in charge of spreading cinders on the ice. And the only way we had to do it was with a trailer. And there was times I didn't make it up a certain hill, and it was
sure.
scary. And
Yes.
Well, and
kinda-
our big plows too, they can't stop very easily, and they don't see what's.
it's
you
hard
know,
to see behind you
it's
with
hard
that
to see
large
behind you.
piece of
My friends
equipment.
in our public works department's actually given me kind of a tour and an eagle eye view of that. And so our biggest tip when it comes to plows is don't crowd the plow. Make sure you give them plenty of room to operate. Don't try to cut them off or get around them. Please be patient. Give yourself extra time when you are driving anywhere, because you never know what you're going to run into. And that's the best one right there, is just make sure to take your time and relax.
Right, and I know like on ours it actually said keep back 500 feet.
Yep.
That's
Yes.
that's
There's
a good
reason for
recommendation.
There's a
that.
reason for
Yes.
that. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
rocks that fly up, and
Yeah.
you could sustain damage to your vehicle that way, but really it's about the overall safety.
Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you don't want to get run over by a blade or a loader that's trying to plow snow up a
Yeah.
steep hill.
Yeah.
So stay back, and like you said, give yourself time, extra time to get to a place wherever you're going, because traffic seems to move slower.
It does.
Refresh
and
those driving skills too. Don't just slam on your brakes. Black ice can be deceiving. Yeah.
People think that, hey, there's this 18-wheeler, they got that many tires on the road, they can stop better.
Oh no.
Yeah,
There's a lot of weight behind that,
Yeah.
and it's hard
And-
to stop.
Exactly, and I've seen numerous times people just zipping and flying past real.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, people, just take a little time, slow down, so you can get to where you're going safely.
Well, there's a lot too. A lot of our public safety folks may be out on the road. Our firefighters, or in dealing with an accident, or our police officers, our tow truck drivers, those kinds of things. And we want to make sure that we give them extra room, as well as the fellow drivers out there. If you do see a vehicle, pulled over with their flashers on, slow down, give them some extra space if you can. Those, when you see the lights inside, or the lights on the
Emergency vehicles.
emergency vehicles, make sure that you're giving them plenty of time, because there's personnel roaming all over the place. And
Right, and that's not only good advice for winter time, but
All the
anytime,
time.
all the time.
all
Year-round.
the time.
Because it is a law,
It is a lot.
and you need to give them space. So thank you for that. Thank you for watching Safe and Sound, and we'll see you next month.